chair calls a special call meeting for the Greenwood Leflore Consolidated School District for June 7th, 12 noon. May we please bow our heads for a moment of silent prayer. Amen. Chair will entertain a motion to amend the agenda, making item number 3, number 4, and making item number 4, number 3.
So moved, Madam President.
It has been motion and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Chair will now entertain a motion to approve the amended agenda. The motion is second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Dr. Brown.
(2021) 2022 District Safety Plan presented by Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown, as you come, we just want you to know that we want to familiarize ourselves with the plan. So if you could give each one of us a copy of the plan so that we can look at it and become familiar with it. And we also would like to know, as you come forward, do you have any recommendations for this board as it pertains about the meeting that I asked for with the city, the county, and the local law officials, or do you have any recommendations going forward about things that we might need to ask for? Is it even necessary that we move forward?
Good afternoon. We gave some rain when I started. Good afternoon, everybody. I want to thank Mr. Wilson, the school board, and Dr. Brown for allowing me to speak on the message about our safety. Y'all hear me? Regarding our safety. One of the things I do, I'm trying to do this brief. Right. One thing I want y'all to know, you understand, concern with that now, it's not, it's a secret. We have a situation that's going on in our community, and we also want to keep our students and our families and everybody safe in our school district. We understand our school district is a part of our community. Trust me, we understand that. One thing I do want you to go, Ms. Milton, if you don't mind me starting out, to kind of talk a little bit about our campus police. Our campus police is a unit that we are sanctioned and certified by the law enforcement understanding. And what that means, and what that means is that we have the same certification as any law enforcement officer in the state of Mississippi. As a matter of fact, we have more training because we have that educational component in it. So there's so many hours that we have to get. I got 27 years of experience, and these guys got a lot of experience as well. And also, we have 3 of us that have been sworn in by the sheriff to be able to work outside of our jurisdiction, anywhere in the county. So we have our officer work 500 feet out of our school limit, but also we have 3 of us that are certified to work in the county. So I wanted you to know that you guys have a great thing in your district that y'all put together and the administration put together. We have a lot of good things going on in our district, a lot of qualified people. Case in point, we have a situation at not at Threadgill, but on the street in front of Threadgill. These officers, myself and Doug, were the first one on the scene. We secured the area. The school followed their safety plan. Our nurses pretty much saved this guy's life. So we was it. And when the police came, we assisted them in what we have to do. But y'all didn't call me here for that, but I do want y'all to know that, like, unlike some districts, y'all have a gym inside of your own district. You don't have to call the sheriff. You don't have to call the police department. Okay? You guys have that already. First thing, first page, Doug, would you please hand them one of them? These are some of the things we do. This is our qualification from our school resource officers and also our safety officers. I know we don't have security officers, people. We don't have security officers. We have school resource officers and school safety officers. MDE redone that whole thing, okay? So I'm passing that out. Carl, can you pass that second thing out? Let me know what that is before you pass it right there. No, sir. Second. First one. Yes, sir. We have on our threats, on anything we do, this is a calendar of last year. We hadn't done it updated yet because we update everything in July to get ready for the starting of the school year. We have a calendar. This calendar tells us everything that that's going to happen, all our drills and everything at every school. This is supposed to be going on in our schools, and this is to meet MDE requirements. Those are the things that the officer does. Each month, you can go to any school, and you can look at that and say, have you done your drill for that month? Okay? That's what we do. The next one. Officer Carl, pass that out for me. Let me get one of those. Sorry, John. Thank you. This next thing is our school safety assessment instrument. This instrument is given by Mississippi Department of Education. We do this once a year and submit it to our administrator. This is our assessment that we do of each school. Now, this coming up school year, we've already had a gentleman to come from the outside that has a large company, and he said, Mr. Brown, I'll do your school assessment free. I said, well, come on if it's free. So he came on, and he haven't given us the results yet, but that was last week when he done that. And I don't want to jump the gun about he's trying to help us with the grant, Doc. I don't know if you shared that. I'll kind of wait. You have? Have you shared that about? I can? Okay. He agreed also to possibly try to get us $500,000 for whatever he finds. He's going to try to find the money for us to fix it. And it's not coming out of the district pocket. It's a little match to it, but he said sometime they will waive that match. So we're going to find everything, problems that we got, and we do have a lot of them because why? We have a lot of old buildings in our district. It's, you know, so we do have some issues. The next. Now, the reason y'all want me here, school safety, that last one over there. I'm only giving you a copy. Now, Doug, pass those manuals if you don't mind. Those manuals. Yes, sir. Thank you. This is an index of what's in this manual. This manual right here is our school occupational safety and crisis response plan. It's updated every July. Why is it in July? Because there'll be new faces in our district, and we have to wait till everybody get in place before we can actually update this manual. So this manual came straight from MDE. This is a carbon copy that all school districts went by, started out years ago. Everything that you want to know, any crisis that happened at our school district, you have a plan on how to use it. Now the key is following the plan. The key is getting the principals, teachers, and everybody on the same page. And how we do that is in the summertime, I go around and I talk to the principals, talk to the teachers. We have meetings on what to do if this happens. This is our crisis, and I'm going to leave it right there. I didn't make you a whole copy of it, but this is our district crisis plan. Okay? Anything happens, there's a guide of what we're supposed to do. And if things doesn't happen, there's things that we have to do to prevent it. If we follow this plan in our prevention, people, I promise you, we will not have a whole lot of issues. Now, there are shootings and everything been going on years ago. It hadn't gotten this bad, but there has been. We haven't had one in our school district, knock on wood. We haven't. And you know why? Because people been doing what they're supposed to do. Have we had incidents that could have potentially led to a shooting? Absolutely. So I want y'all to understand, and you can let them look at this. Now, in addition to this district plan, each school district has a crisis plan. Each school, I'm sorry, not district, but each school has a crisis plan. I help them, the principals, with this crisis plan. So under the umbrella of this district plan, every school has a crisis plan on everything that's supposed to happen.
So, Mr. Brown or Dr. Brown, is there any way we can look on the web and see the actual plan or in each school's plan?
We can upload those plans to the website. We can do that.
Yeah, we just want to familiarize ourselves with it.
Yes, ma'am.
Before you all actually publish it in July for this year.
Okay.
Because we want to just see so we can have questions to ask you going forward.
That's great, and we don't publish anything until y'all approve it.
Right.
Everything that comes through has to be approved by the board. And we will do that on a continuous basis. Officer Carly, pass out that last one there. Yes, ma'am. And before you ask that question, school board, there are some things that we have in our plan that we don't want the average person to get.
Right.
So we don't want them to know, so there may be some information not loaded down, but I'll be happy to ask any question you got.
Okay, so my question is, is there a school level safety team throughout the year?
Yes, ma'am. If I didn't bring a copy of that, it was my fault. Each school, we help develop a safety committee. Okay, this safety committee meet according to MDE. They're required to meet every quarter, but we try to meet more often. And what they do, they go around, and it's pretty much like this assessment that we do. And they go around and making sure that things are safe, like, you know, electrical outlets or whatever they may see, because they're the ones who actually on campus. Now, I know we talk about administrators and things like that, but one of our most important persons on that safety committee is our custodian, because they see and hear everything. They tell me what teachers props open the door at what time. They know. So those type things that we do. But answer your question, yes, ma'am.
And I think I'm talking more in terms of, like, at the school level, are there mock practices? Are there teachers assigned? Say, for instance, if you had an incident to occur, does everyone know their role and what they have to do?
Yes, ma'am. That's the purpose of our drills. I just gave you a calendar. Each one of them are assigned. If you look at the crisis plan in a school district, each one of them is assigned a certain thing. There's a certain door they're supposed to lock. There's there's certain ones supposed to call 911. There's certain one. Yes, ma'am. It's in that white manual. That's a copy of Davis right there in that white manual. So, yes, ma'am. That's why we go over. We have meetings in the summer, and that's why we go over and over and over. They get tired of seeing me and my officer, but that's why we do that.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Brown, I'm looking on this 2020, 2021 goals and plans. So the last bullet, B, if you want to look at mine, I want to ask you, is this your first time?
Okay. This is.
Would this be the first time? Look at B. You don't have to say it out loud, what it is.
You said B?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, and this is our GLCSD Safety Department plan and goals for 2021. This gonna be my upcoming for 21-22. But yes, ma'am, B is something that we need, and I will say that I will push that all my officers get their proper equipment that they may need via radios, via vests, via whatever we need. I would do my best and try to make sure that they get the proper equipment, because one of the things that we talk about with radio, we have our radios communicate with each other. But we're going to get radio where we can communicate with outside sources as well. I got one, but I always had that, but we're going to get that as well to make sure everybody's on the same page. So, yes, ma'am, this going to fall on the equipment. I'm going to push to get whatever these officers need.
Ms. Lewis has another
One
question.
other question, Mr. Brown. One detectors, walk-through machines, and cameras.
That's mine, Mr. Brown.
Do we have those, and are they in working condition for every school?
You said one? Yes, ma'am. We have our metal detectors, and we also purchased some handheld ones last year. We need to get some more for each school to have it. My safety department has it, but we got to get some more for each school. Now, when you talk about cameras, honestly, we're going to have to upgrade, and I think they're in the process of doing that. Mr. Johnson not here, but that's also is going to be in that safety, the results that the gentleman had done for us. That's one of the main things that he spoke about. We have to get an upgrade on our camera system.
Thank you.
I don't know if this is a Dr. Brown, it may be a Dr. Brown question. In regard to, I think my concern, Dr. Brown, is the amount of resource officers that we have at each school. So can we speak to how, can you hear me? Can you speak to how we are working to maybe increase, if we can, the amount of resource officers at each school? Because I'm just afraid we may not have enough.
Okay, so that would be, we'll have to work with Ms. Washington to make sure that we do have it in our budget. I do know that we are down 2 SROs, and what about our SSOs? I know.
Well, we have one that's leaving, but we do have 2 to fill those. So we're going to be full capacity with the SSO. We just have 2 SRO if the board approves it.
Right.
Then we have 2 SROs position that we'll have open.
Right. And those are ones that we had before, so those need to be filled. But in addition to having other assistants, I know it's needed, but it's more of a to make sure we have it in the budget to hire those individuals.
So is it one SRO per school?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Mr. Brown.
No, ma'am. We have one at Greenwood High, one at Leflore, one at LZ, and that's it. That's it.
I think my concern is just thinking about our high volume crime areas where these take place. And I do know that, those, I don't want to make a generalization, but our students are mainly in that high school age, area. And I just want to ensure that our high schools are, I guess, supported and assisted and covered as much as possible, Ms. Brown.
Yes, ma'am. You can have an SRO at each high school and an SSO at each high school.
So everybody that's here is SRO today?
Yes, except Officer King. He's SSO. He's here, but these are only SROs that I have, including myself. There's Officer Doug and Officer Dixon.
Question, Madam President. Mr. Brown, thank you all for all the work that you all do to keep our schools safe. Is there anything in place maybe with the city, the police department, as well as the sheriff department, just to say when officers on duty, they can come to campus, just walk through, speak, go on about their business, whereas, a student may say something to you and you can pass it along?
Well, yes, sir. And I was gonna address that. I know Ms. Milton had asked me to address that at the beginning of the meeting. I have met with the sheriff department and the chief, and I've got a good working relationship with both of them. They're at our disposal. They've had that clearance for a while now, Dr. Bailey, but we know they're working in these streets trying to solve some of the cases. But we did ask them, when they do come, to get in contact with that SRO, and then that's when they can walk or do whatever they want to do. But we asked them to get in contact with our SRO, and that officer take them around or walk with them or whatever he has to do. So, yes, sir. And we all work together, Ms. Milton, with the county and the city. They told any resources that I need, you know, they're at our disposal. And they understand the concern that we all have and that y'all got. I got the same concern.
So
But-
since you say you already have we do know that you have a work relationship with them, so it seems that you've already spoken with them. So I'm asking you at this time, do you think it's necessary for the board to meet with them, or you think you have it covered?
Well, I always want to think I got it covered, but all at the same time, if there are some questions that you guys want to ask them, I'm sure it won't be a problem of trying to get everybody together, if that's what you want to do. But they understand our needs, and they've always worked with us, sheriff and the chief, both chiefs that we had. So if y'all want to get together, that's fine. But I can also tell you, they're going to tell you some of the same thing, that they're working with us. When they come, that's our jurisdiction, and they're working with us. And
So you, in other words, once again, you're saying just like Greenwood Police Department and Leflore County Sheriff Department, we have our own police department within our school district.
you have your own police department. We have a number and registered down at law enforcement minimum standards, just like any other police department in the state of Mississippi. We went, you know, we certify, we arrest, we make arrests when need be. We deal with our own situation, which is good, y'all. That's a great thing for y'all, because let me tell you, school districts are getting away from contracting with the sheriff department and the city, because most of the time when they come in and deal with those situations, school districts have no hold. Their bosses are the sheriff and the police department. And I'm sure you five want to have some say-so on what goes on in y'all school district. And that, for that reason, y'all have some of the most qualified officers that, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of them out there, but y'all pretty much have some of the qualified officers that you want. We can do anything you want.
So in this safety plan, we know the number to Greenwood Police, and we know the number to Leflore County Sheriff Department. Do y'all have a 911 number?
Yes, no, we don't have a 911, but when we call
when I say that,
911,
but
but
do
all,
you have a telephone number?
all 911 numbers go to the dispatcher in the county.
Yeah, I mean-
Even with the city.
Yeah,
Everything-
I know that. I was just
Oh,
being
no,
funny.
ma'am.
But
No.
I'm asking, does your department have a telephone number?
Well, my office, but it's not a 911 number.
I mean, I know it's not a
Yes, ma'am.
911.
Yes, ma'am. My office, we do have a number if they call in, and then we go there, we assign situations. Yes, ma'am, to answer your question.
Go ahead.
Dr. Brown, so do we have any, Title IV funds for safe and orderly schools?
She asked if they have any Title IV funds for safe and orderly schools.
There are, of course, I wouldn't have what that number is off the top of my head, but we do have, you know, some limited funds, of course, to address certain things. So it won't be to the magnitude of, you know, maybe instruction but there is where we use for well-rounded education, where it be character ed, you know, that kind of thing. So we can look at that and kind of see what we have.
So those funds cannot be used for cameras or?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Question, Madam President.
Go ahead, Dr. Bailey.
Ms. Brown, in your training, and I know when you're on campus, you have better control over what goes on, but when we're away from campus, so in regards to buses going into high crime area, what can we potentially do to try to be proactive in protecting our students on those buses, and are we training the drivers in the event of?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Bailey. I meet with the buses. We go over we do what we call threat assessments. We do threat assessment in each school and also with the bus driver, or with the buses, the director. We meet with them in case of a situation. Case in point, that's the same situation at Threadgill. There was a busload of kids. And we dealt with it accordingly and appropriately. And so, yes, sir, I go over that training with them. Now, I'm not talking about, but I know the county, we gave over $200,000 to our sheriff, said, okay, go get the job done. Hire what you want to hire, get you what you need, and things like this because of the situation that's going on in the street. So, but yes, sir, Doc, to answer your question, yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Abraham.
Mr. Brown, I do commend you and your staff for the work you do, because I know that you know how important it is this for the safety. If we don't have our kids safe, then it's not going to do any good what we're teaching them. If you had the funding, would it be difficult to find the certified law enforcement people to put in the schools? I'd like to see one in each school.
Well, if I get the funding, I promise you I'll find them. And there may be one or two we might have to send to the academy, because we had two positions, we had it for a while. It's not the administration fault. It's my fault that I wouldn't hire certain people because I'm not hiring no problem. I'd rather deal with what I got minimum than to deal with problems. So if I find the right one, I would recommend them tomorrow. But yes, ma'am, if we get more funding, I will utilize it very well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. And once again, this board wants to familiarize itself with our school safety plan. And if you don't mind, at our next meeting being available so that we can ask you questions after we have looked over the plans, and also to see if we'll be able to coordinate the meeting through you with the city, county, and law officials.
That'll be great. And there's one district manual that's mine. That's the only one I had. I didn't make a lot of copies. Maybe they'll make some copies for all you
I think Dr.
guys.
Brown is gonna make it available to us online.
Oh,
So you can
okay.
take your plan with you, because she's gonna let us. Am I
For
correct?
safety purposes,
Well,
she have
I
to
can
email
email,
it to you.
I scan the
You can't
email
post
to each one of you.
Okay, wait a minute, wait a minute.
For safety purposes, she can't post that. She can email it to us individually. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Now, keep in mind, that's 2020,
We got you.
2021, so I
Okay.
hadn't done that.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, and thank you guys for the work that you do for this district. Chair will entertain a motion to close this meeting for consideration of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
Dr. Pelican. I mean, Mr. Pelican. Sorry, it takes a minute.
Chair will entertain a motion to not extend Dr. Mary Brown's contract beyond June 30th, 2022. It's been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed?
Nay.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Let the minutes reflect. Voting nay, Dr. Roshan Bailey. Voting yea, Jackie Lewis, Dr. Kalanya Moore, and Madeline Abraham, and abstained, Samantha Milton. Once again, let the minutes reflect. Voting nay, Dr. Roshan Bailey. Voting yea, Jackie Lewis, Dr. Kalanya Moore, and Madeline Abraham, and abstaining, Samantha Milton. Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. It's been motioned and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion is carried.